Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, okay.
Good morning, ma'am.
All right, so let's start. How was your day, DI? Before we start.
Okay lang, ma'am.
Okay, that's good. All right. Okay, so today, now we are done with the first bioorganic substance, which is carbohydrates. Then the second one is the lipids. Then let's go to the third bioorganic molecule, which is the proteins. Okay, so what do you know about proteins? Okay, what do you know about proteins? What is protein? Okay, we have Justin. Hello, Justin.
No, ma'am.
Okay, what is protein? What do you know about protein?
Ano, ma'am, ka ng protina? It is a natural occurring extremely complex present in all living organisms, includes many essential biological compounds such as enzymes, hormones, and antibodies.
Okay, so those are the functions of proteins. Okay, so what else? Pinaka-simple, atong elementary mo, what do you know about proteins?
Ano, ma'am, kanang mga
Kuan siya, ma'am, kanang
murag
nutrients
essential.
na kinahanglan nato sa tuang lawas.
Okay, so
Kuan po siya, ma'am, part siya sa
health
healthy
foods.
diet.
Okay, healthy diet. Yes, those things like eggs, meat, milk, legumes, mga cheese. Okay, so those are proteins. Those are foods rich in proteins. Now, actually, class, proteins are molecules or substances that is already present in our body. And also, also they can also be found in foods. So, because again, we know that we have okay, we have essentials and non-essentials. So, essentials means those foods that we should take part in our diet because our body can make them. Okay, so we have essential proteins, essential lipids, essential fats, fatty acids. Okay, so what are those essential fatty acids? May exam na ba ta ugma? Essential fatty acids are? Okay, yes. We have
Carbohydrates, ma'am.
essential fatty acids.
Kuan, ma'am, katong saturated.
Essential meaning dili makabuhat atong body ana dapat mo inom jud ta ana mukaon jud ta ana. Katong
Kuan, ma'am, ka
di
ng
omega
polyunsaturated.
Katong omega.
okay, okay, omega fatty acids, those omega 3 and omega 6, we should take part that in our body because our body cannot make it. So they are essentials. Okay, when we say essential, kinahanglanon kay siya, our body can't make them. Okay, we also have that one in proteins. We have essential proteins also. Okay, so those things, let's go back. So we have, wait, okay, kani. Okay. All right. So we have that proteins. Okay. Now also Justin told us na katong it will help transport katong mga functions. Okay. So proteins are polypeptides. Now again, so just like our carbohydrates and our lipids, proteins is a very large molecule also. Is a very large molecule also. So it is a polypeptide. It means that it has peptide bonds. Then also the monomer unit here in proteins is what we call amino acids. Now in carbohydrates, what is the monomer of polysaccharide? Monomer unit. When we say monomer unit again, just like our carbohydrates, if this is our polysaccharide, if we call our starch, now we have that one. Okay, like it's very long because starch is very large. Also the glycogen. Now, if also this is our lipids, it's a very large molecule also. So what's the monomer unit? Katong pinakagagmay nga unit sa polysaccharides we have. When we say monomer unit class, pinaka-simple, pinakagamay niya nga part. We have the Okay, what is a polysaccharide?
Kuan ma'am, katong polysaccharides ma'am, consists siya of 10 of thousands of monosaccharides units.
Okay, tens of thousands of monosaccharides. So what is the monomer unit of polysaccharide? Pinakagamay nga unit. Okay, so this is your
Monosaccharide, ma'am.
monosaccharide, 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 monosaccharide. So that's why we call it polysaccharides. Okay, polysaccharide, the monomer there is monosaccharides. Example of monosaccharides, we have ribose, we have fructose, we have glucose, and okay, glucose. Okay. Now, also in your lipids, what is the monomer unit of your lipids? Pinakagamay. Now, we've already, sige ta to siya talk about. Sige tag storya anak katugali. Mag-ana-anak ko class, then double bond O, then we have the OH. Okay, what is this one? This is your
Kuan ma'am,
Ha? This is your fatty acid. Okay, fatty acid. It's a hydrocarbon chain. It's a hydrocarbon chain and it's acidic because of your carboxylic acid. So this is your fatty acids. Now, your lipids also, the monomer unit there, ang pinakagamay nga unit sa lipid is your fatty acid. No? So that's why your lipids is considered as macromolecules, dako kay siya nga molecule because ihang monomer unit, pinakagamay nga monomer unit is a fatty acid. Fatty acid is very long chain of hydrocarbon. So dako na daan ihang fatty acid, then i-plus na po daghan kay fatty acids like triacylglycerol. We have 3 fatty acids there. So that's why our lipids can be considered as macromolecules. Now, compared to your carbohydrates, the monomer unit there is a monosaccharide. Monosaccharides are very small. Okay, gagmay lang siya, 'di ba? Like your glucose. Gamay lang siya. Your ribose, gamay. So that's why it's considered also it is not considered as macromolecule. So your lipid is considered as macromolecule. Now, compare this one also. Again, what is the monomer of your fatty acids? Of your lipids?
fatty acid ma'am.
Okay, fatty acids. Now, what about here? Now, we also have here in
One ma'am, fatty
proteins.
acid.
Okay, yes. In proteins, we have also a monomer here because proteins are polypeptides. When we say poly, okay, so poly na po siya class, dako na po siya, polypeptide. When we say poly, daghan, di ba? Okay, so like this one. So it's a polypeptide. This is your protein. Okay, that one, depende sa structure because there are types of protein na po dayon. Okay. We have that one. It's a polypeptide. Now, the monomer there, this one, pinakagagmay nga unit. Okay. Pinakagagmay na unit is what we call amino acids. Okay, amino acids. We have that one. Let's write that one. Amino acid is this one. You have your COOH. Again, what is COOH?
Kuan ma'am, carboxylic.
Okay, carboxylic acid. Your R group. Okay, so this one is your amino acid. Okay, so this is your amino acid. So this one, it's a monomer of your protein. Now, more on this, kung daghan ang atong inani, daghanon pa nato, puna na tanig isa kay nani, then this will become a dipeptide. Okay, it will become a dipeptide. Then if 3 to 10 amino acids, it will become oligopeptide. Then if 10 to thousands and millions of amino acids, then that will become polypeptide. So, diba? Pari-parihara siya sa ano no? Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, we have monosaccharides, disaccharides, then we have polysaccharides, then oligosaccharides. Here in protein, we have amino acid. Then, if we have that, okay, we have monopeptide, we have dipeptide, we have oligopeptide, then we have polypeptide. So, this one. Now, if kaduhaon na nimo when you, naman po eh. Okay. Now, example, if we have okay, let's write that one, huh? Halaka. Annotate. Okay. Wait sa. Ay, nara ko. Okay. Now, if we have, okay, so this is your amino acid. It has COOH, so I will write that one. Then we have an OH here. Then we have, and sa pa to, NH2. Okay. So, it is called as this one. It's your R group, meaning your R group here will be unique. Okay. Just like your fatty acids can be 18:0, 19:2, 20:3, inana, diba? 20:0 for arachidonic. So, R group will be unique. Okay, it's very large also depending. It depends on what type of R group unsa i-connect nato. Now, why is it called amino acids? Because of your what? It's called amino acids because in the presence of this one, your amine, your nitrogen. That's why it's called amino acids. Acids come from here, your carboxylic acids. Okay, so that's why it is called an amino acid. Again, amino acid is the monomer unit of your protein. Now, R group will, it depends. So, R group is always unique. Now, if we have different, R group, then that amino acid will have a different name. Okay, so we will tackle that one also. And then we have this one here in H. Okay, so if I ask you how many chiral center present in this amino acid?
5, ma'am. Ay, 7.
How many chiral center?
One,
When we
two,
say
7, ma'am. Ay, 8.
okay,
9, ma'am.
when we say chiral class, chiral is when a carbon has four different bondings. Okay, when a carbon is bonded to four different molecules.
2, ma'am.
Two. How many
1, ma'am.
carbons?
1.
How many carbons present?
2 carbons, ma'am.
2, ma'am. 2
Now let's
carbon.
identify that one. Okay. How many bonding present in this carbon?
4, ma'am.
Four.
4,
Okay.
ma'am. 4.
So if what about this carbon? How many bonding present?
3, ma'am.
Three.
okay. Double bond man.
4,
How
4.
many carbon? Four. Okay, can I double bond? Now it says that a chiral molecule is when a carbon bonded to four different molecules. Now both carbon are ano sila, pwede sila prospect sila kay they have four bonds. It's bonded to four bonds. Now, however, of these two carbons, only one is bonded to four different molecules. Unsa nga carbon? Nga
Carbon 1, ma'am.
this one?
Carbon 1, ma'am.
This one, carbon 1?
Carbon 2, ma'am. Carbon 2.
Carbon
Okay.
1, ma'am. Carbon 1.
Okay, it's carbon 1. So carbon 1 is a chiral molecule. However, carbon 2 is not chiral. Remember when we ato na siya ibaliktad atong kwaon sa grupo. Okay, this one will become R. Okay, so is it 4? 1, 2, 3 raman nakabuk. Okay, it's not chiral. It's not chiral. Carbon 2 is not chiral. So meaning it's achiral. Kung mo nagalig not chiral, it's achiral. Achiral. Okay, so this one, carbon 1 is a chiral carbon. Okay, so that's it. So this one is your amino acid. Now, if when we say chiral, if there's a chiral center, then it has ano, stereoisomers like enantiomer. Enantiomer. Okay, so we have in carbohydrates, when we talk about enantiomers, we have two enantiomers. We have L isomers and the D isomer. Okay. So when we talk about isomers, it is we have the amino acid here. Okay, let's write an amino acid. COOH. And then we have NH2. Then you have your R group here. And then we have your H here. Now, the unsay tan-awon pag mo na tag ano siya L or D in an isomer. The atong tan-awon is this one. The N, the location of the NH2, and then the H group. So here, N is in what side? NH2 is in left. So this isomer is L. Okay, L isomer. So this one is L isomer. Okay. Now, depending, again, R is always unique. So if it is attached to example, another type of protein. We have example lang ha, histidine. So this will become L-histidine. Okay. So just like your carbohydrates, L-glucose, L-ribose. Okay. So the R ang inyong basihan para makaname mo sa isa ka amino acid. Now, if ako siya i-change, if I have H, I see OOH, then we have NH2. So what isomer is this? D isomer. Okay. So meaning there is enantiomers, there are isomers because our carbon molecule has or our amino acid has a chiral center. It has one chiral center. So this one, the center is your chiral center. Okay, again, I mean, it is called amino acids because amino because of NH2 and acids because of your carboxylic acids. Okay. Now, if I bond, okay, if two amino acids will come together, then and will become mahimong one molecule. Okay, so if I have that one, I'll draw that one, huh? That will become N, H, and another H, and your N there, and then your R group here, then the H group. Then, okay, we have your carboxylic, the OH, and then you have double bond O plus H. Okay, because duhaon na to ka duha ka amino acids. C H, then we have R, C double bond O, then we have OH. Okay, are they the same? The same or ang two molecules?
No, ma'am.
Nga naman. Why is it no?
Kuan sila, ma'am. Let's og structure. Ang kaning
Uh,
H.
okay. So let us like structure lahi og location, no, but they are the same. Okay, so they are the same. They are amino acids. Okay, amino acid ni siya. One amino acid. Okay, kato ganina pag draw na ko katong pangitaan ta mo isomers ato gyana rato na ko ganina. NH2 because it's 2. Then we have the R group here or the H here. Then we have the COOH. Same ra silang duha, class.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, they are the same. So ako lang siyang gi-distribute og ayo format shoot na ko siya.
Okay.
Okay, so that is your amino acid. Now, when two amino acids come together, it will become okay. When two monosaccharides come together, it will become
Disaccharide, ma'am.
unsa?
Oh my God.
It
Disaccharide.
will it will become disaccharide. Now here,
Di-
if two amino acids will come together, it will become dipeptide. Okay, it's dipeptide because so I'll write that one. So polymerization or kanang pag-form sa inyuhang protein into larger molecule, kanang pag-combination of amino acids is by dehydration. When we say dehydration, we have an OH here and we have an H here will mawala. So dehydration is the loss of water. Hydration, di ba? When we say hydration, hydrates means water. So when we say dehydration or ikaw kalibangaon ka ma-dehydrate, mawala ang daghang water sa imong body. So we have this one also. Formation of polypeptide, oligopeptide, polypeptide is dehydration. The process there is what we call dehydration. It's the loss of OH. It's the loss of OH and another H. So H2O. So since mawala ni silang duha, this one, then we will form again double bond man no. So diri pa ta class. Then mawala ang isa ka ano OH, mawalang OH here, then another H, so it will form N H C H, then we have C double bond O, then we have an OH, then we have an R group here. Okay, so this is what we call polypeptides. Polypeptide because of the peptide bond present here. The peptide bond present here is this one. This one. Okay, so this is your peptide bond. Again, in carbohydrate, what is the bond present there to form a disaccharide? In carbohydrate, to form a disaccharide, when two monosaccharides come together, it will form disaccharide. Then the bonding present there is what we call
CHO, ma'am.
the bonding present or the linkage present in disaccharides. We
C4,
have
ma'am. C4
okay.
linkage.
All right. Okay. So, okay, that's C4. So, ano siya specific. But there is your glycosidic.
Man.
Okay, glycosidic. Now, here in protein, the linkage here is what we call peptide bond. Okay, peptide because of this one. This one is your peptide bond. Now, that's why also, when two amino acids come together, we call it dipeptide. Murag iyang giname niya, gi-refer niya sa bond. Okay, because we have how many amino acids present here? How many amino acids present here? We have
2, ma'am.
okay, we have 2 amino acids. Mao ba nag-reaction na to class? Mao ba ni this one amino acid kamo ni siya, then kaning na blue green is this one. Okay, so when we add one amino acid, another one amino acid, we can have a peptide bond. Okay, so that's it. Now, if we form, if punan pa jud nato siya isa ka amino acid na pod class, i-bond na pod nato na siya, so mawala ning OH diri no. So, ito siya punan class. So, the name will become it will become what?
Yan, ma'am. Oligopeptide.
Okay, it will become oligopeptide. Okay. So that one because it's oligopeptide because there are how many amino acids present na? 3. Okay, we have 3 now. We have 1, 2, and 3. So that's what we call oligopeptide. Now the bonding there is your peptide bond. Again, so okay, punan pa jud na ko utaman og mga 11 na siya class. What's the new name? It's
Polypeptide, ma'am.
okay, polypeptide. Now, if I ask you what is the reaction, what do you call to the reaction when amino acids are formed to come together to form one new molecule? We have ang tawag sa reaction.
Kwan,
Ha?
Peptide man. Peptide man.
peptide bond ang iyang bonding. The bond is a peptide bond, but the reaction is parehitong when we form ester bond, we have esterification. When we have glycosidic
Kunan, ma'am.
bond, siya,
Kamay.
condensation. Now, what about in what here? The reaction is
Dehydration.
okay, dehydration. Because kada mag-form class when an amino acid form, okay, kada mag-form siya, there will be a loss of OH and then H. So we have two H and we have O. So that is H2O. So loss of water. So that's why it's called dehydration. So the reaction there is dehydration. Okay, so again, first data. Now we have that one. Okay, a protein is a naturally occurring unbranched polymer. Okay, class, it's a polymer, meaning daghan siya og monomer, daghan kaayo, it's a polymer, taas na po siya. Okay, again, what's the monomer unit of your protein?
Amino acid, ma'am.
Amino acids. Because class, proteins are dagko magod siya. Proteins are maabot siya tag 100 to 500, 400 amino acids. So that's why it's a polypeptide na dimer. So when we say protein, it is linked to polypeptide. Okay, so and the monomer there is an amino acid. Now let's go back. So what's the monomer unit of your lipids?
Fatty acid, ma'am.
Okay, fatty acid. What about your carbohydrates? What's the monomer unit?
Monosaccharide, ma'am.
Okay, monosaccharides, no? Monosaccharides, kay daghan sila. We have glucose, ribose, fructose, glucose. Ito pala in class. Mara ba? Okay, we have that one. Galactose. Okay, galactose. Galactose is a monosaccharide. Monosaccharide po, no? Monosaccharide ang galactose?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now we have that one. Okay, we have proteins are most abundant molecules in the cells after water. Okay, I see. So in the body, that's it. It's 15% of the cell's overall mass. Okay, so elemental composition of your protein, we have carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and you have your sulfur. So, daghan na siya, no? What about the composition of your carbohydrates? Unsa present sa inyong carbohydrates? We have your
Hydrogen.
hydrogen. What else?
Oxygen.
Carbon.
Carbon. What else?
Oxygen, ma'am.
Okay, what else?
Kuan. Chlorine ang shock.
Methane, ma'am.
Hmm. Okay, so methane, ano naman na? Methane is CH3. Methane is CH3. So, ano akong pangita is elemental composition. So, we have that one. Okay, so the elemental compositions of your carbohydrates is CHO. That's why I know. Tulura sila kabuo class, tulo. But here in your protein, the compositions there are carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and then we have your sulfur. So it's a bigger siya, no? It's bigger than your carbohydrates. Just that your carbohydrates forms a ring structure or an open chain. Maka-form siya ring structure. Your protein has no ring structure. Okay, so that's it. Okay, when we write an amino acid, makita nato ng mga elemental composition. We have NH2, we have COOH, we have the R group, we have the H. Okay, so we have the C, we have hydrogen, we have the oxygen, we have the nitrogen, then, okay, so the sulfur here, possible siya makita nimo siya sa R group. Your R group. Again, R group is always unique. So it will determine the name of your amino acid na. Because there are 20 amino acids present. So there will be 20 different R group present here. So we have that one. The average nitrogen content of protein is 15.4% by mass. So it's big. Now we also have that also present. We have iron, phosphorus, and some other metals in some specialized proteins. So we can also encounter this one, ferrous or iron, and then we have the phosphorus. Okay, so now we have that one. Several proteins with 10,000 plus o dakutas kayo. Greater than 10,000 amino acid residues are known. Then we also have 400 to 500 amino acid. Then we have 40 to 100 amino acids. Okay, so class, the small protein contains 40 to 100 amino acid. Small pa na siya class, 40 ka buok. Okay. So the big dagko nga proteins we have greater than 10,000. Okay, then we have a monomeric, so contains one polypeptide chain. Then multimeric, we have two or polypeptide chains. Okay, so we have the proteins. Proteins are classified based on chemical composition. We have simple proteins. When we say simple proteins, only amino acid residues are present. Okay, only amino acids are present. Now, so amino acids. Okay, remember, kato na to. Then we have albuminoids. Okay, so it's in keratin, in skin. So it's the albuminoids are the proteins present in your hair, your skin, your nails, mga keratin. It's present in the keratin. So collagen, okay, so example, okay, we have two types here. For albuminoids, we have keratin. Another example is collagen. Collagen. Collagen, kanain yung parpaputi. Diba? So collagen. So it's jud siya for the bones. It's in the cartilage. Then keratin shampoo, it's for the skin, hair, kana mga panit sa mga other animals like dogs, mga horse. So the protein there is keratin. Now we have albumins. Okay, the albumins are the proteins that can be found in your egg. Okay, so egg. So kanang siya, kanang the white egg in your nagbukon na nyo kanang white, mao na siya ang albumin. Okay, albumin. Then we have globulins. Okay, so globulins are for antibodies to fight other bacterias. That's your antibodies. Then we have histones. Histones can be found in the chromosomes. It's in chromatin, katong mga chromatids ninyo. Di ba? Ano mo na pag-drawing? Okay, the chromatids. So the protein there is your histones. Okay, so they are the simple. When we say simple, only amino acids present. But when we have a complex one, we have conjugated proteins is when we have, remember that proteins, okay, a protein that has one or more non-amino acid entities. Like example, your prosthetic groups. Example of this one is your lipoproteins. Okay, so we have that one. The prosthetic group there is your lipids. So it's a combination na siya, class. It's a complex na siya. You have that one is a lipid. It's a lipid and then your protein. So we call that one lipoprotein. Now where we can find this one, class. Okay, your LDL and your HDL are actually conjugated complex proteins. So again, 'di ba? 'Di ba ang katong sa ato ang lipid bilayer in a the lipid bilayer there has proteins also. Okay, so that's it. So proteins can be found bisan asa. Okay, because it has lots of function. It can function as enzyme. Okay, so enzyme, it can act as a catalyst to speed up the reaction. Okay, so we have also the receptors. It controls signaling. Then we have your transport also hemoglobin. Example, it will carry oxygen throughout the body. Then we have your muscles and organ tissue. Okay, so proteins also baka kuan siya sa imong building sa muscle and organ tissue. That's why when we were child or ano jud siya pakanon jud tag ano painom mo tag gatas, painom mo pakaunon tag egg so that ano ma-build jud og tarong ato ang muscles because and for the ano growing child also protein is necessary kay para dira mag-build ang ihang muscles and other tissues. So that's it. That's protein. Okay, another here, the complex protein, we have glycoproteins. Okay, the prosthetic group now. Okay, you determine the prosthetic group. So the prosthetic group there is non-amino acid. So when we have glycoprotein, okay, so we have that one as carbohydrate, the prosthetic group. Then we have the phosphoprotein. So the prosthetic group there is phosphate group. Then we have nucleoproteins. Okay, we will know this one also. We have that one, the nucleic acid. Maybe in your other subjects, you meet nucleic acids already. And then we have hemoproteins. Your hemoproteins are your kaning sa atong blood for transport. We have that one, the heme unit. That like example is hemoglobin, myoglobin. Okay, so that's one. Now we have also characteristics of proteins. We have fibrous proteins according to shape class. Now, shape, your proteins can be linear like this one. It can be a strand or sheet. Or it can be as complex as this one. Gubot kayo, that is what your globular proteins. So we have that one alpha keratin. Example of your strand proteins are alpha keratin and your collagen. Okay. So they are long, rod-shaped or string-like molecules that intertwine with one another and form strong fibers. Okay, so nag-intertwine na siya class. So forming a strong fiber and it is water insoluble. When we say water insoluble, it's polar or non-polar.
Non-polar, ma'am.
Okay, it's non-polar. Now we have this one also, the globular proteins. For your globular proteins, you have your globulin, and myoglobin, that is the oxygen storage in your muscles. Okay, oxygen storage in your muscles. And then you have hemoglobin, we have that one, the oxygen transport in your blood. Okay. So we have, okay, so it's ano siya, dili siya linear. It's folded into spherical shape. They are non-polar. Amino acids are in the interior. Okay. So we have this one. Your globular protein has a polar region and also a non-polar region. So the non-polar regions are in the interior, nasa sulod, just like your micelle, just like your bilayer, lipid bilayer. The non-polar groups are in nasa sulod, while your polar amino acids is naa siya sa surface, nasa gawas. Okay, so it's amphipathic also. Now we have water soluble, allows them to travel through the blood and other body fluids to site where their activity is needed. Needed. Okay, so the mao na siya sa surface because katong sa surface that is polar amino acids, it's water soluble. Sumukuyog-kuyog siya sa imuhang blood is ano siya, more on water also. So that's the reason nga nung makakuyog siya with the blood, together with the blood, your hemoglobin, because it's the polar region is on the surface, so it's water soluble. So it can blend with water, and then the non-polar kay tago, like your micelle and your lipid bilayer. It's amphipathic. Okay, so we have that one, 5 rows. Okay, keratins can be found in the walls. Di lang siya sa skin and hair sa imong sa tao, but it can be found also sa be found also in the feathers and walls. Okay, okay, example of fibrous proteins, we have that one. Number one, for example, is keratin, then collagen. Also, we have the globular, your myoglobin, and your hemoglobin. Okay, so proteins play crucial roles in most biochemical processes. Okay, so makita na to ang importance sa atong protein is katong ato ang facilitated transport, di ba? Active transport, and then your facilitated transport. It needs protein. The protein can be used as a gate and as a pump there para magian og mga nutrients. So it's a protein. Okay, we have catalytic proteins. When we say catalyst, okay, yung ipapaspas ang metabolism, we have that enzymes. Okay, known for catalytic role, almost every chemical reaction in the body is driven by an enzyme. So, like your sucrase, they are an enzyme. Maltase, cellulase, they are your enzymes. Now, enzymes, there are many enzymes. Magdepend sila silang function. Now, in protein, because again, protein is a polypeptide. Again, we know that protein is a polypeptide. Now, our body cannot synthesize food ba og dako kay diretso. So, when you eat, when you eat a meat, so daghan kay na siya amino acids, it's rich in protein ba ang meat. Okay, rich in protein. So daghan kay mga proteins. All right. Now, when you take imnig kaon nimo ana, then there will be enzymes that will catalyze or that will cleave yung pangwaskagon para mahimong gagmay. Okay, your body abot sa stomach inigkaon nimo sa imong meat, your HCl. So HCl is the number one gastric, it's a juice, liquid siya that will break first initial breaking of your foods. Okay, mo initial. And then after that one, dili man niya mahurot og kuan, break tanan kay dako kay siya, maybe mahimo siyang oligopeptide. Oligopeptide, then the oligopeptides will be acted by a pepsin. Your pepsin is the enzyme that will cleave, that will catalyze your proteins, the amino acids, the oligopeptides, sa iyang pagagmayon into peptides or monopeptides. Okay, so iyang pagagmayon. So, pepsin. So, we have that one. Enzymes. Okay. We have also defense proteins. Okay, the defense proteins are your antibodies, immunoglobulins. Okay, immuno from the word immunes. Okay. We have globulins. So, ano siya? Globular shape ni siya. Our antibodies are central functioning in the body's immune system. We have transport proteins also. Example of transport proteins, your hemoglobins, and then your myoglobins. Then we have messenger proteins. Okay, we have your insulin and glucagon. So messenger insulin, di ba we take for diabetic, Kato mga diabetic na lola, mag-take din sila insulin, di ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so insulin. Mo take sila insulin to regulate the sugar. The sugar para mo gamay ilang sugar. Then the glucagon, pero kato pong mga lola nga kaining kuan, mga kulang og sugar, mo take sila glucagon para mo daghan niya sugar. Then we have this one, human growth hormone. Okay, regulate body growth. So they are messenger proteins. They are signaling. They controls the signals to coordinate biochemical processes between different cells, tissues, and organs. Okay, so you read this one. Myosin, the collagen component. Okay, keratin, myoglobin. Okay, we also have another function of your protein. We have storage proteins. Like your myoglobin, it stores oxygen in the muscles. Then we have nutrient proteins. Nutrient proteins, the protein present in your milk, it's casein. And then your egg white, that is oval albumin. Okay, oval albumin. Now, okay, so we have this one. This is your amino acid. Okay, so naman klase ni Sir Ralph.
Yeah, ma'am.
Na ma'am, mag-exam.
Mag-exam mo.
Yes, ma'am.
Sige, so nakatuon na mo.
Wala. Walay tuon-tuon.
O, ito niya. May exam po taog ma, di ba? Friday. Hala.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, unsa oras inyong exam?
Hindi pa dapit, ma'am. Pero magtuon mi, ma'am.
Magtuon mo. Ay, sige. Tamad lang taaning kuan acids. Okay. This one. Amino acids, no? Hapit na ta. Okay. So, amino acids. Asa man to? Okay. This one is your amino acid. Okay. You have your amino group. Then, okay, you have your alpha carbon atom. Okay, alpha carbon, it's number 1. So that's why alpha. Then you have your COH, the carboxyl group. Okay, so the proline, example of your proline. So this one, your proline, ano siya, will become your R group. Example of R group is proline. So depende na din na siya class. Like your phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylethanolamine. Okay, nagdepend na siya sa R group. Now, the position of carbon atom is alpha. Okay, so the R groups, there are 20 standard amino acids. So it means that there are 20 different R groups. So we have that one. Common names assigned to amino acids are currently used. Okay, so we have an amino acid. Example is asparagine, ESN, or glutamine, GLN, and then you have tryptophan. Tryptophan, di ba, madunggan na to siya sa mga vitamins for growth. Okay, it's
Yes,
tryptophan. It's a
ma'am.
protein. Okay, amino acid. Then also we have one letter symbols commonly used for comparing amino acid sequences. Okay, we will know that one. Amino acids differ from one another by R groups. Okay, again, the R groups are unique. So the name will depend on the R group. Then we have standard amino acids are divided into 4 groups based on the properties of R. Okay, so the R, so we will talk about the R group na. We have non-polar amino acid. It means that the R groups are non-polar. Okay, when we say non-polar, yung electronegativity is gamay, and then no presence of oxygen, no presence of Cl, katong mga electronegative kay class, fluorine. Okay. So it's non-polar. When we say non-polar also, makita lang nimo the presence of carbon and hydrogen. Okay, that's non-polar. So meaning it's hydrophobic, water-fearing, it's insoluble in water. Okay, there's no polarity. Example, we have this one. Okay, these are your amino acids. Okay, so gamay ra siya. They are based on non-polar amino acids. Okay, now we have your first amino acid is what we call ansa.
Glycine.
Okay, glycine. So the R group present in your glycine is H. Okay. Di na mo makuan class, di na mo ma-zero na ano mo ikuan. Basta ang R group sa glycine is H ra. So it's glycine. Is it chiral? Does it have chiral center?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah,
Ma'am.
unsa man?
T1, ma'am.
Okay, nya chiral day, di ba? Chiral, when we say chiral, 4 molecules bonded. Different molecules. Different
Dili,
is sila. Okay. So no chiral center. O, tanawa, H and H. It's the, ano ra siya, it's the only amino acid that has no chiral center, the glycine. Okay, so it's non-polar ha, non-polar because ano lang yung nakabutang, it's only C and the H. Now we have valine. Is it polar or non-polar?
Polar siya, ma'am.
Okay, ang tanawon na ninyo pag mula na mo non-polar or polar kanilang R group, R group.
Non-polar, ma'am. Non-polar, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, the R group present in your valine.
Non-polar, ma'am.
Okay, non-polar. Kanang mga orange class, di ba? Ano na siya? Ano siya ang mga kwan class? Mo ni ang mga R group in orange. So we have that one. Again, what about your methionine? Is it polar or non-polar?
Non-polar, ma'am.
Okay,
Polar,
it's
ma'am.
non-polar. So it's the ano na siya no? The most elements present in your R group, non-polar amino acid is the C and the H. Only the methionine has an S, and then you have phenylalanine, which is your tryptophan has nitrogen, so duhara. Then okay, what are those? Okay, what are those non-polar amino acids that are in ring?
Kuan, ma'am, kaning pinilanin.
Phenylalanine,
Try.
tryptophan, tryptophan,
Tryptophan of
tryptophan,
Phenylalanine.
phenylalanine. What about this? Oh, yes, Pearline. Pearline also is a
Proline.
ring. Okay, look.
Natulo sila, ma'am.
Okay, tulo. All right, so they are considered as non-polar, meaning they are water-faring. Okay, non-polar. Now, kung ano yung maka-identify mo. All right, we also have this one. We have polar amino acids. The R groups are polar. Okay, example. This one. Okay, what makes it polar class? Ay, no, polar neutral. Ay, sana. Kanilang. We have this one. Polar acidic. What makes it polar and acidic?
Presence of HO, ma'am, or
Presence
OH.
of this one, COOH, it's very acidic. Mao ni carboxylic acid ba siya, no? So, the R group, okay. So, we have that one, carboxylic acid. Okay. Now, what about this one? What makes it polar? Basic.
Murag yang kuan, ma'am, yang CH2.
Presence of
Nitrogen, ma'am. Nitrogen, ma'am.
NH. Okay, presence of NH2. This one. They
Nitrogen.
are basic. Okay, nitrogen is basic class. So that one, presence of nitrogen, hydrogen, it make mao na siya mga polar basic amino acids. Okay, so there are how many polar acidic amino acid we have?
Oo, ma'am.
Okay, we have two. What are they?
The aspartic acid and glutamic acid.
Okay, ilhan na po dahil siya class and name. Basta ni acid, ano siya, polar acidic. Okay, this one, how many polar basic amino acids?
Ma'am.
Three. Okay, now we have also polar neutral. When we say polar neutral, it contains a polar group. Na siya nga siya COOH or the OH na siya ana, but neutral lang siya kay slightly ano siya, slightly acidic, dili siya acidic, di po siya basic. It's just polar neutral. Neutral siya class. Example of them are this one. Okay. So, di ba sa acidic, ano siya, COOH? Sa inyong neutral, you have only an OH group. So, it's polar neutral. Then, we also have this one. Your SH, cysteine. Cysteine is also a neutral amino acid. Okay. So, polarity, makaingon tag polar, and ano siya, it's on the electronegativity class. We have this one, mag-uban ang imong nitrogen and then oxygen, it becomes neutral. Acidic and basic, so it becomes neutral. Okay, so what are those polar neutral amino acids?
Serine,
Cysteine, then threonine, sana. Asparagine, glutamine.
and isoleucine.
Okay, so again, asa ganito magtanaw para mo determine tag polar or non-polar siya?
Sa R group.
Okay, sa R group. Okay, good. Hoy. All right, now here's an activity. Now classify the following amino acids based on polarity of their R group. Okay, letter A, we have Justin. Justin, ang letter A, unsa siya? Polar, non-polar? We have Rhea. Okay, Justin? Okay, unsa siya, Justin?
Ma'am, madungog ra ko, ma'am.
Oh, kana madungog na.
Kuan siya, ma'am, kanang polar.
Anong polar? Unsa makita na nga
Kanang
polar? Okay,
polar dahil
determine the R group in letter A. The R group is
OH.
OH.
ma'am. IH.
Class, anak class, di man jud ninyo ang R group kay nabilin na siya sa imong amino acid katong basta ang amino acid ana jud na NH2, CH, then we have COH, double bond O. Ang basta permanente ni siyang naa din ang sobra mo to'y R group. This one is the R group. This one, di ba mo man ni?
Yes,
Ay, okay,
ma'am.
okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, letter A is what is the R group in letter A? R group in letter A is sige Justin, what is the R group in letter A? Aurea, what is the R group in letter A? It's unsa? Okay, Jalea.
CH3,
Okay,
ma'am.
CH,
Methanol.
methanol. It's methane. Okay, it's
Methane
methane.
dioxide.
So it's CH3. Now, is it polar or non-polar?
Non-polar,
Okay,
ma'am.
non-polar. Kung unsa lang gali, natay C and then na H. Only C and H. They are non-polar. Okay, what is this amino acid? What's the name of this amino acid? Pangitaon na to. Asa na to na makita?
Oligo.
Oligo? It's only one na siya. It's unsa siya?
Alanine.
Alanine. Okay, it's
Alanine.
alanine. All right. What about letter B? Okay, magtawag-tawag ko ha. Letter B is okay, Ronally, what's the R group? Then determine if it is polar or non-polar. Ronally, what's the R group?
Ang R group ma'am kay kanang CH2. Tapos kuan
CH2?
siya ma'am, non-polar.
CH2, ra?
Napoy H.
Ronally. CH2
Yes
and
ma'am.
then
Non-polar ma'am.
kanira yung R group kanira wa nilabot X na ni.
Apil pod ma'am.
Okay, so the whole thing this one. Okay, that is your polar. That's your R group. Now, is it polar or non-polar?
Non-polar ma'am.
Okay, now tanawin na to. What's the name? Ronally.
Leucine.
Unsa siya?
Piniline.
Phenylamine ma'am.
Okay, phenylalanine. Or, ining magsulat lang ka FHE. Okay. So, what about number, okay, letter D man din, no? Letter B, what is letter B? Determine R group and then polar or non-polar. Marchi, what is letter B, Marchi? Marchi, letter B is What is the polar group in letter B?
CH, ma'am.
Okay, determine the R group, in letter B.
CH2, ma'am.
CH2. Kanira?
Kanang sa kuan po, ma'am, sa ubos po, ma'am.
Okay, this one. Now, is it polar or non-polar?
Polar, I think polar, ma'am.
Why? Because of? Now, okay, this one class, look. Okay, Jalaya.
Ma'am?
Okay, is it polar, non-polar, neutral?
Neutral man ata na siya.
Sorry, ma'am. Neutral
Unsa?
naman.
Okay,
Neutral
neutral. Yes, kaya ang ma-polar acidic siya, dapat si OOH, dapat carboxylic. Ang naa niya is just OH. So what's the name?
urine, ma'am.
Ha?
Tyrosine.
Okay, tyrosine. Okay, tyrosine. Yes. Okay, we have letter E. Alona. Then letter C kay si Kuan Ronally.
Ma'am, ay kuan, joke. Ang R group niya, ma'am, kay kanang NH2, ma'am.
Kani, our group?
Di ba kanang ubos, ma'am?
Kanira?
Dili, kuan pa, ma'am, dahil kuan siya, tawag siya, o kay nag-Dublin man. So, adin ka na po mga CH2, ma'am. So, matawag siya neutral.
Neutral? Neutral, tanaw na sa neutral. Kung nabaya siya sa neutral. Kung neutral siya, what's the name?
Wait sa, ma'am. Ito siya, katugamihan. Kuan siya, ma'am, kanang, ito siya, glutamine.
Glutamine. Now, is it correct, Merly? Glutamine ang letter E. Okay, is it polar or non-polar or neutral? Now, okay, nakita ni mo siya dira sa neutral. Alona, wala.
Wait, ma'am. Wala.
Wala. Because it's,
Non-polar.
it is
Polar di ay mo.
Polar, ma'am.
polar
ma'am.
basic. So, what's the name?
Lysine.
Lysine.
ma'am.
Okay, yes, lysine. Ronally, letter E, letter C. R group. R group, letter C.
Kuan, ma'am, kanang CH2, dayon carbon double bond O, tapos OH.
Okay, is it polar or non-polar?
Polar, ma'am, kay naaman siya yung oxygen.
Ang kanina, oxygen o neutral man lagi.
Ay, neutral dahil siya, ma'am, kay na OH.
O niya, kanina isa ka double bond. Neutral, sige, pangita na siya neutral. Is it neutral? Kung neutral siya, same name ato. Okay, Rochelle.
Aspa asparagine, ma'am.
Asparagine. Is it asparagine?
Dili, ma'am.
Oo,
Dili,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay siya. Sige, pagkitaon na to siya. Na,
Polar at
Polar.
Then,
so it is
aspartic acid.
Kuan
okay,
siya.
it's aspartic acid,
Aspartic
Ronnie.
acid.
All right, it's aspartic acid. So it's acidic because of COOH. COOH gali class basta carboxylic acid, that's polar acidic. Basta NH2 basic. Depende na lang din kung basta napay lang basta OH lang, it's neutral. Okay. All right, thank you. So that's it. Correct. Okay. So we have this one amino acids, the derivative. Okay, when you say derivative, gikan siya dadto. Okay, it's non-standard amino acids. So example is of this one. We have the hydroxylysine, desmosine. So it came from your 20 amino acids, standard amino acids, then giderive niya. That's why it gitawag siya non-standard. So it has pareha itong mga kuan class na mga derivation, the thromboxane. Katong mga nato is ano, katong mga androgens nato, they are just derivations of your steroids. Derivatives ra sila. This one, okay, we have essential amino acids. Again, when we say essential, unsay pasabot?
Needed, ma'am. Kailangan.
Ano? Okay. Needed kay dili makabuhat ato ang body. Okay, we have that one essential. 10:30. Okay, essential siya. All right. So we have out of 20 standard amino acids, 'di ba? We have 20. Ipam-plus gali ito ninyo itong mga polar and non-polar amino acids. Mabot siya 20. And then only 9 of them are essential, meaning it's very needed because our body cannot make it. We have 9 now, but for katong mga children, they have 10. They need 10 because of this arginine. Okay. Now, we have, so remember this one, essential amino acids, arginine. Okay, please read what are the essential amino acids.
Arginine, histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, aniline, threonine, tryptophan, valine.
Okay, so tarungon na ninyong basa na. Okay, so we have that one, essential amino acids, meaning we need it. We can only get these amino acids from the food. So dapat kauno na to siya. Then we have also non-essentials. For the non-essentials, we have alanine. We have asparagine. They are non-essentials. Our body can make that one, so no need na tamukaon na. Aspartic acid, glutamic acid, kato mga polar groups class. Ano siya, non-essential. Then we have serine. Now, we also have conditionally essential, non-essential ni NE. Now we have CE, conditionally essential, meaning if we are healthy, our body can make it. But siya, if we are unhealthy, like gigutom ta or na mga deficiencies, we need them. So we have that one, we call it conditionally essential. Okay, conditionally essential, we have glutamine. As this one, arginine. Okay, arginine also. That's why pag dako na ka, ano siya, di na siya essential. We have glycine. Again, glycine, ang ihang R group is H. Mo ba na kato ganina. It's very simple. Di na mo marong kay na glycine. Then we have also tyrosine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have cysteine also. Okay, a total of how many amino acids?
20, ma'am.
Okay, so what are those conditionally essential ano amino acids?
Arginine, ma'am.
Unsa
Alam,
Glycine,
Glutamine.
Lysine,
tyrosine. Okay, the non-essential. Okay, that one. All right, now let's
itong
go.
alamin.
Hapit na class. Duha na lang kape. Duha ay tulo. Okay, this one. Okay. All right. So we have foods. Let's go to your foods. We have that one. We have foods that are complete in protein. Meaning, ano, katong all the, when we say complete, all the essential amino acids katong 9 kabuok, naa siya sa imuha nga food. Like meat. Example of that is meat, egg, okay, meat, egg, and then your milk. They are complete proteins. Then we have incomplete proteins. Naa siya mga uban. Okay. Example class. So, except from gelatin, proteins from animal sources are complete. So that's why, ano, mga meat, eggs, they are complete proteins. They are rich in protein, mana beta. Actually, they are complete pa jud. Then we have the proteins from vegetable sources. Okay. Are incomplete protein. Example of this, your batong, mga legumes, munggos, they are
Beans, ma'am.
incomplete. Only the complete, only nga kaning, only the soy proteins, the soybeans, kato white, are complete proteins sa mga plants. Okay, so animal, kato mga food from animals are complete proteins, then food from plants are incomplete, except the soybeans. It's complete ang soybeans. Now, because class, kinahalan na to ang mga 9 essential amino acids, na atay nigkaon na to kaning dili kompleto, so we will complement. Incomplete proteins which when served together complement each other and provide all the essential amino acids. Okay, so we have complementary. Example, if you have your utan, ang utan na to, kaya naman siya no, incomplete ba ang mga vegetables. So sagulan na to siya og fish, sagulan na to siya og meat, then we will get the complete proteins na through complementary. I-complement na to class ba? Kung unsay kulang sa pikas punan na to. So para mag-complement. So makomplete na din mo makuha. Okay, we have that. All right, now we have this one, chirality and amino acids. Okay, now we have that one. Okay, is glycine chiral or not? Katong glycine ninyo class, glycine. Is it chiral or not?
chiral, ma'am.
Glycine. Glycine, when you say glycine, di ba katong pinaka-simple?
Not, ay,
Ang ihang R group class kay H. Is it chiral or not? It is achiral.
Sorry.
Achiral meaning A means not. Not chiral. It's not chiral. It's achiral. Now, so out of 20 amino acids, only 19 are contains chiral center. Okay, 19 na kabuok ang naay chiral center because ang glycine, di siya chiral because the R group present sa glycine is H. So, maduha na siya ka H. H here and H. So, it's achiral. Not chiral. Okay. So, molecules with chiral centers, kung chiral centers na siya chiral center, it will exhibit enantiomerism. The left and the right-handedness. Okay. So, amino acids found in nature as well as in proteins are L isomers. Okay. So, in your glucose, the glucose are D, diba? D isomers because our body can utilize D. Now, but in proteins, L na punta. L isomers. So, atong nakakuan is mga D-glucose, D-ribose, D-fructose, atong sa carbohydrates. But in proteins, ang prefer sa to body is L. Okay, with monosaccharides, nature favors D. Diba? Sa ato mga carbohydrates, we prefer D. Then we have, okay, the D and the L, we just refer to the location of your H, of your NH2. NH2. Sa ato ang carbohydrates, we refer to the OH group. The hydroxyl group katong pinakalayo from the, pinakalayo jud. From the aldehyde group. Okay, we have this one. All right, now letter A, you determine how many chiral centers and then, okay, the alpha lang class. The alpha lang ato i-determine. That's why this one is alpha. Alpha. Mao ni atong sika sa ato ang amino acid in the R group ay labot. So that's why it's alpha, beta, gamma, and D, I don't know. Okay, basta alpha, kaning the one with asterisk. Okay, you determine the enantiomerism. Is it D or L isomer? Letter A, we have okay, Marchi. We have Marchi. Is it, what is the isomerism there in enantiomer? Marchi, is it D or L? Alona.
Unsa to, ma'am?
Ay, si Marchi
D or
na
L?
si Marchi. Marchi. Is it D isomer or L isomer?
Yes, ma'am.
Isomer or L isomer?
L siya, ma'am.
L. Okay, unsa Marchi? Okay, we have all right, Alona.
L siya, ma'am.
L. Okay, your name. What's the name?
Kuan. Kanang H2N, ma'am. Wala dira. Ang L isomer.
L, unsa L glucose, L. Tanaw na to no. Is it polar or non-polar? Polar. Okay. So what's the name?
Ma'am, gamay kayo. Di ka makaro, ma'am. Glycine, ma'am. Medyo.
Glycine.
Isoleucine.
Isoleucine. Okay. At sige, marag na sa duwa, isoleucine or leucine. Okay, tanaw na to ha. Naman tato. God. Ay. So it is isoleucine. Okay, very good. It's ano siya? L. So we will name that one as L isoleucine. Okay, what about letter B? Letter B ano?
Di
Letter
siya
B
ma'am.
Merly. Letter B. Is it polar or non-polar? Anaon din ninyo class kay pangitaon na to ang name. Letter B.
Ma'am?
Okay, Justin. Is it polar or non-polar?
Polar, ma'am.
Polar?
Polar or
Justin, ang
wait sa
tanawon
ma'am.
bitaw nga makaingon kang polar or non-polar kay kanirang R group. Basta polar na ana siya COOH or
Kanang
NH2.
non-polar, ma'am. Letter.
Non-polar. Okay. So unsa to siya? Is it what about the isomer? Is it D or L? Justin, D or L isomer? Unsang isomer? When we say D, kung D siya naasa ang NH2 nasa right. Pag L siya, pag ang NH2 nasa left. Justin.
D, ma'am.
Okay, D. So, magsulat na ta D. Unsa kay name ani pangitaon no non-polar? Let's find 26 non-polar. Okay. Here, Justin, unsay pangalan ato? D.
Wait lang, ma'am. Sa man to.
Nato siya S. Feeling ako wala.
Asa man?
Neutral.
Neutral.
Neutral nga li. Okay. Naa siya, wala. So, it's the name Justin.
Asparagine? Asparagine.
Asparagine. Balik ko na to 26.
Kuan siya, ma'am. 15?
Balik ka, Justin. Hi, balik. Memorize Justin.
System siya.
It's
Glutamine.
Cysteine just.
Asa?
15 siya.
okay. Justin, memorize din mo ni Justin yang R group. Daw, kani Yang R group diri just is CH2. Kani CH2SH. Pangitaon ni mo na diri dayon. Kung unsa
Okay,
iyang
ma'am.
name.
Okay, ma'am.
So, unsa iyang name?
Di cysteine siya.
Cysteine.
Okay, cysteine. Nara siya just CH2SH. So, what's the name? It's
D-cysteine, ma'am.
okay.
Wako kaklaro, ma'am.
Alright. Now, what's the spelling cysteine?
S-Y?
Na letter E.
I-C-Y.
Okay. Na letter E class. Letter C. Okay, letter C, we have Merly. Ikaw na po, Merly. Last na ni class. Out na din ta. Letter E, Merly. Letter C. The R, okay, Rhea.
Ma'am.
Okay, si Marley
L,
din. Marley. The R group,
L, ma'am.
L.
Yes,
L
ma'am.
siya,
L,
Rhea.
ma'am.
Kay
Ay,
H, ang nasa left ang H2N.
H2N.
okay, oon, NH2, di, sakto na siya sa L. L. What about the R group? Is it polar or non-polar or neutral?
CH2.
Polar neutral, ma'am.
Polar neutral.
Neutral,
Very
ma'am.
good. Okay. Now, what's the name?
Tyrosine.
Name is?
Tyrosine.
Tyrosine, ma'am.
Okay. So, what's the name na dayon?
L-tyrosine.
Okay, that's L.
L-tyrosine.
Okay, let's check. Yes, you're all right. Okay, so let's stop here. Then, tomorrow, exam tomorrow for lipids. And then, kada sa ta exam og proteins, hapit na ta mahuman. Sa proteins.
What time, ma'am?
Okay, tomorrow, what time? Kamu bahala.
Kuan ma'am, alauna po ma'am.
Okay, 1
Alauna lang,
p.m.
ma'am.
Alright, 1 p.m. Then,
Yes ma'am.
okay, then magsabot na pud mo kano sa mo exam sa proteins kay ano na lang. Hapit na, isa na lang ni siya ka lecturean. Mahuman na ning proteins. Mahuman na ni proteins Tuesday. Naana ni
Ma'am kanang Google phone.
Oh,
Google Form, gapon, ma'am.
oo.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So, magsabot na mo sa protein. So, that's all for today. No
Thank you ma'am.
questions.
Wala na, ma'am.
Okay, you see class, ang atong mga topic here is magkaano ra siya. Paduol-duol ra sila, carbohydrates. We have the mono, the di, the poly, then the L, the D, okay, the chiral, except sa fatty acid, sa lipids na ano siya. Fatty acids yung monomer din, it's very big. That's why ano, it is considered as macromolecule. Still, your protein also is ano, very large food kay pila to 10,000 ang dako nga polypeptide, greater than 10,000 amino acids, then small peptide is just 40 to 50. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you so much for attending. Then good luck to your exam, Mr. Ralph. Bye-bye. Thank
Thank
Bye,
you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am. God bless.
Okay, kamo na pagsabot sa exam sa
Yes, ma'am.
protein.
Okay,
Bye.
Yes, ma'am.
Sige, sige ma'am.